Hey, welcome back to the Convoy Road Coffee Roasters YouTube channel. Glad you're here. My name is Mike Kennedy. I'm the roast master at Convoy Road. I want to talk to you today about Caribbean coffees. Last week we talked about Central American coffees and how most of the attention there is placed on Costa Rica and Panama, but there are other countries there that are growing exceptional coffees as well. I want to do the same thing here. When you first think of Caribbean coffees, what do you think of? Probably Jamaica and Jamaica Blue Mountain in particular. Fantastic coffee. But we can't talk about Jamaica Blue Mountain without talking about how expensive it is. I checked with our suppliers this morning. Jamaica Blue Mountain is currently going for $43.98 a pound raw. That's before we would do anything with it. So in order for us to make a profit, we'd have to sell it for probably between $65 and $70 a bag just to make a profit. But why is it so expensive? First thing to think about is it's grown at very high elevations. The Blue Mountains that reach peaks of 7,400 feet above sea level. That's very high. And when you're farming up that high and all the way up to 7,400 feet, it's very difficult. Talk about farming on slopes. And when you do that, you can't get equipment in there, so you've got to go in there and take care of everything. On foot. You have to walk in there when the harvest comes in. People have to walk the rows, pick those hand pick those cherries as they go. So there's a cost associated with that. At the same time, too, at altitudes that are that high, the air is cooler, which is good because in the cooler air, the beans develop more slowly. They ripen more slowly, which truly adds to the quality of the coffee, of the beans. And even up that high, the air tends to be a little misty. You may remember that Led Zeppelin song, Misty Mountain Hop. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. But the air is misty, which is really good for the coffee plants because they love high humidity. And that moist air, the mist in the air really helps them develop properly. Another thing, super meticulous farming. The Blue Mountain coffee farmers know that they've got an exceptional coffee. They've got a great product. They know they get great prices for it. So they really take the time and put in the extra care to take care of those coffee trees at all steps of the coffee making process. Traditional farming practices, everything is hand picked. Only the ripest cherries are picked each time. So it's super meticulous farming. Also, high standards. Like the farmers, the Jamaican government knows that they've got an exceptional coffee, and they've implemented regulations to ensure the quality of that. Let's see. Only coffee grown within a designated region of the Blue Mountains above an altitude of 2,000 feet can bear the prestigious Blue Mountain label. The Coffee Industry Regulation Act in Jamaica also includes criteria related to bean size, moisture content, and defect levels. The Jamaican Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority keeps a close eye on the regulations to make sure those who buy Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee can trust that it's authentic and of the highest quality. Another thing to consider when talking about the high price of Jamaican Blue Mountain coffees is limited supply and high demand, of course. Jamaica's an island. There's not really a whole lot of land on which to grow this coffee, but you got a bunch of people the world over who really want it. When you don't have a whole lot of a product, but a bunch of people want it, it's going to cost more. Law of supply and demand. Also, you probably didn't know this, but 80% of every single Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee harvest is exported directly to Japan. And the Japanese have a thing for high quality coffee. Hats off to them. That's fantastic. But that only leaves 20% of each harvest for the rest of us to fight over. But again, that leads to in part with the high cost of the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. Also, some portion of every Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee harvest is used to make Tia Maria coffee liqueur. I didn't know that, and I bet you didn't either. Now, I've had some excellent, super good medium roasted Jamaica Blue Mountain coffees. The last time was probably 15 or so years ago. At the time, I was working and traveling at my job for the Army, and the wife gets a text message from the bank saying $65 was spent at some coffee place I don't remember the name of. And she texted me and she said, "How much coffee did you get for $65? I said, "1 bag." She's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, it's Jamaica Blue Mountain." And man, it was good. It lived up to everything you ever hear about a Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. But, and this was only a year and a half, 2 years ago, I had a dark roasted Jamaica Blue Mountain that just wasn't all that impressive. So the roast level, the roast profile has a lot to do with how good a coffee is too. There are 2 other Caribbean countries I want to talk to you about that are producing phenomenal coffees that I would put up against Blue Mountain any day. The first one is the Dominican Republic, and there's an estate there, the Ramirez estate in the Dominican Republic. We've brought their coffee in twice. And it was Dominican Republic Ramirez Red Honey. Again, honey processed coffee, as you can tell by the name. But man, it was good. Super smooth, organic, honey processed, incredibly smooth. Notes of milky vanilla and nutty aftertaste of balanced sweetness that you get from the honey processing. This estate is pretty special, and it's worth talking more about. It's a 3rd generation estate, run, of course, by the Ramirez family. They employ about 400 people, and they pay them wages that are about 300% higher than the fair trade standard. Also significant here is before the Ramirez family purchased the estate, the land was barren. The previous owners had used it to raise cattle. There was just nothing there, and they've turned it into this beautiful, productive coffee estate. This estate also takes the parts of the coffee cherry that most farmers throw out and converts them into natural gas through fermentation, and that natural gas runs their Ramirez estate. The water they use is recycled, filtered, and returned to water systems in the vicinity of the estate. And the cherry pulps and skins are added to compost piles where they are used as fertilizer for the Ramirez estate and other nearby farms. So it's not just the premium coffees they're producing and the environmentally conscious efforts they employ. They've also built schools in rural areas so local children no longer have to walk nearly 20 miles a day. They donate books to these schools too. We keep our eyes open for coffees from this estate, and every time we see one, we've got to seriously consider bringing it in. Another coffee in the Caribbean that is fantastic is coffee from Haiti. We've brought in 2 over the past 4 years, and both of them were really good. I'm going to talk to you about one of them, but first, the history of Haiti. Boy, it's really a moving story. French colonization, vicious and brutal slavery, rebellion, several strained attempts at independence, an embargo by the United States when the person who took power was somebody that our government didn't like, and then authoritarian, despotic dictatorship. It was colonized by the French in 1659 and named Saint Domingue. In 1715, the coffee plant was introduced, and by 1788, believe it or not, Saint Domingue supplied half the world's coffee. That's phenomenal. But it was all done under monstrous slave labor conditions that eventually led to one of the world's only successful slave rebellions. But by 1791, the coffee plantations had been almost completely destroyed. That's a shame. In 1802, Napoleon sent over 20,000 troops to the former colony to reclaim Haiti. And the Haitian people beat them too. That's amazing. After fighting hard for its freedom, Saint Domingue was renamed Haiti. By 1949, Haiti had become the world's third largest coffee producer. However, and here's that embargo part I was talking to you about. In 1957, Francois Duvalier was elected president, which led to an embargo by the United States that lasted until 2005. So incredible, moving story of Haiti, what they've gone through. But they're producing some mighty fine coffees. The first one I want to talk to you about is Haiti High Elevation Sauvon Zombie. This coffee scored a 92 in Coffee Review. And there's the backstory here is kind of interesting too. The Haitians are big on black magic. And as the story goes, legend, folklore, whatever you want to call it, legend holds that farmers once rose people from the dead and forced the zombies to work the coffee fields. Not saying that zombies picked this coffee, but anyway, it was grown in a Haitian town called Zombie Desert. The coffee cooperative produces about 600 bags of coffee every year. It pays its growers substantial prices for the harvested coffee, and it's much higher than the fair trade minimum. Not out of charity, but in recognition of an exceptional product. This coffee was so good, people. We sold out of that so quickly, and our suppliers sold out of it too, so there was just no more for us to get. There are 75 or so farmers in this cooperative, with an average small farm being about 2.4 acres. That's tiny. Clean, smooth body, low in acidity, slightly sweet. So again, the coffee is Haiti High Elevation Sauvon Zombie. I want to sum this whole thing up. It's not just about Jamaica Blue Mountain coffees when you're talking about Caribbean coffees. The Dominican Republic and Haiti are both producing exceptional coffees that you owe it to yourself to try. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Hit the like button, comment in the video. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Let me know, and have a great day.